Hey, welcome to the Handy Guys. On today's episode, we're going to do something a little different. We have some ceiling fans that have been provided for us by Emerson, and we're going to go through the different varieties of ceiling fans and kind of how you make a selection for which ceiling fan to install in your situation.
First of all, figure out where you're going to put it, Paul. Did you know you can put ceiling fans outside, like on a porch in a damp location,
right,
or even out on a pergola, something like that, in a wet location where it might get rained or snowed on?
Exactly. So you want to make sure it's rated for that situation,
right,
a damp space or wet, or more typically, they're going to be rated for indoor use only.
That's right.
So we have some indoor ceiling fans here today, and you know the other thing you take into consideration when you order a fan is, do you want the very efficient motor? We have a Pembroke back here that has the Echo motor on it, or you can get a fan that has a higher end, very quiet, long-lasting, and very powerful, something like the K55XL from Emerson as well. So you can look at different motor options.
Sure.
But the biggest thing I find when you're looking at a ceiling fan is you need to determine what mount you need.
That's right. So how high is your ceiling? Do you need to have a down rod? Are you going to need to lower the fan? Or are you going to need one that sits close to the ceiling?
Exactly. So if you have standard height ceilings, 8 feet ceilings, you're not going to be able to have a long down rod. You're going to want something that is closer to the ceiling. So this funky fan, this is part of a larger fan, obviously, but this thing will mount very close to the ceiling.
Right, it doesn't have that down rod like over there.
Exactly. Now this fan here has both the standard mount, which is a short down rod.
That's right.
Or it can also mount close to the ceiling.
That's right. And you can get a light, and it comes with a light kit as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And this comes with a lighting kit. This is the Ashland ceiling fan. So you want to make sure you understand which mount. Now, what do you do if you have slope ceilings?
Well, if you do a slope ceiling, if you've got a slight slope, some of these, like the Ashland, can handle a very slight slope. But if you've got a major slope, you're going to need to get the sloped kit that is made for that particular fan.
So there's optional kits you can get for slope ceilings.
But you can handle it. It's a longer rod and other parts.
Okay, so let's go over. I think it would be helpful. You know, a typical handy guy or gal have to install a ceiling fan at some point in their lives, it seems.
Right.
It's a typical project, but maybe it's helpful, you know, you get your instruction manual and you have a lot of different parts. Let's go over some of the basics.
All right, let's do it.
Of a ceiling fan. All right, so we can start out, first of all, this is the housing. This is the main motor unit. The part of the ceiling fan that has the motor, contains the motor. This is the housing from a different model, but it's all encapsulated
together,
right there.
Right. Of course, and then you've got the blades, of course, and the flanges that hold the blades onto the motor housing.
So typically these metal flanges here hold the blades. They come in separate pieces that you put together. And obviously you have it's hung from what is the down rod, which is the rod that is
That's right. We have a down rod here.
And here's a longer down rod. And there's a ball and bracket that it sits right on the electrical box. You have your bracket and then the ball unit.
So you're going to have a ceiling rated box, and that bracket attaches there, and then the ball sits in the bracket, and that gives you a little bit of flexibility on angle as well.
It's called the hanger ball.
So you have a canopy then that's going to cover the bracket, the ball, and the wiring. Okay.
And then, Brian, you also have set screws on the down rod or right up at the hanger ball, and that keeps everything together as well. And Brian, the last part we need to talk about is how you control the fan. There are a lot of options there.
That's right. Some of these have really great switches that let you reverse the fan, set your fan speed, set your lighting brightness, all in one switch.
Right. So on a wall switch, you know, there's a cool wall switch that comes with a Pembroke. You can also get the optional remote control.
That's right. They're very nice.
So you can do that, control fan speeds, the light, and so forth if you have the lighting kit. Or you can still use your traditional wall switches or dimmer switches in some cases.
Yep.
So you can go that route as well. So you have a lot of options. Those are your controls.
Speaking of options, Paul, Emerson has a fan configurator, a design your own ceiling fan website.
Yeah, that's a very, very interesting website. We'll take a look at that next time and figure out which parts we need for our cool fan that we're going to design.
All right. Well, thanks for watching the Handy Guys.
See you next time.